group? It is Chris here, and in today's episode we're going to be going over my new bug out bag for 2017. For those of you who follow my channel regularly, I love building bags, packs, kits, and just doing everything tinkering and DIY. So when you see me mess with new bags, put new items, try out new gear, it's mostly because I want to try to find the right fit for me. Now I know when you build your own personal bug out bag, your budget, your preferences, your needs to where you are in the world are gonna vary differently from where I'm at. The pack that I'm experimenting with is from a company called Ghostek. I know there's a few videos out there on it, and I kind of don't like the way they presented the bag because they kind of use the bag wholesale as just reviewing the bag. And I'm actually experimenting it with my full bug out kit and see if this ends up being the bag for me, because just because I got this for free doesn't mean I'm gonna praise it right away. I will go over a few features of why I decided to use this pack, and I did have the option to send this back if I didn't like it, so I want to put that out there. I do like the pack as a concept overall, but there are a few things I would change later on. Now, this has a zipper here on the bottom. There's also straps to put a sleeping bag, roller, or anything like that kind. Now, it doesn't have a lot of molly straps. This is more like a camping pack. However, this is a beautiful, perfect candidate for something known as the pack attach. This is freaking great when you fill up your pack, but you need to carry extra items like a compass, a water bottle, maybe a flashlight. This is freaking cool. So we're gonna go over this real quick. We're gonna see a full review, but you slip this underneath the area you want, and you pull the carabiner through really quickly. And what that allows you to do is has a 60 pull draw weight, but it doesn't damage the fabric, and you can hook something on anywhere in the pack. Now, to not let this take too long, as I'm going to be emptying different compartments of the pack and explaining what I have in the pack, but if you want more in-depth analysis or a story, you can ask me down in the comments of why I chose something or not. So the very first item is the Cold Steel Special Forces shovel. I love this shovel. I've actually liked it for years, and everyone gave me crap for it. This is actually the same tool my really good friend Zachary Fowler from the season 3 of Alone actually used as his main tool. He used it as a small hatchet, he used it as a knife, he used it as basically everything, a digging tool. For the price point of $30, you can't really get any better.
You brought the shovel. You know, if you just brought a shovel, then that would have been useless.
On the other side pouch, what I decided to put is my Sawyer water bottle. This has the Sawyer mini water filter in it, but it allows me to basically unscrew this cap. If I find clear flowing water, I can just scoop up a bunch of water and have it clean and filterable, so I can have access to clean and ready to drink water on the go. Because if you follow the rules of 3, you can only live 3 days without water. Having access to water is most important. We move on to this flap cover. Now this flap cover is basically floating. It can easily move up and down, and the only thing holding it on are these 4 straps. Now, I don't mind it necessarily, but what I wish they would have done with this flap is actually connect this to the top, because I've noticed this thing likes to slide up and down a lot, and you can't tension it enough in the back to make it a solid fix. Now, since this is a Kickstarter item, I would like to see that as an improvement. So if they're gonna free float this, have it where it'll be stable up top and it kind of just flaps over. But it does have multiple compartments, which does make it useful. So what I decided to put in here are basically toiletry items. I wanted to make sure I had access to being able to use the bathroom if I need to. So I have some potty packs and some shit kits in here. We have 3 Epic wipes, so if I ever need to take a shower but I don't have access to anything, I can do stuff like that. In addition, for you guys who watch my toilet tabs video on my wilderness hygiene, I've got several of these. These basically hold 8 of these towel tablets, and you can use them as paper towels, you can use them as anything, you can use them as face rags. I have another tube that's been clear coated and sealed with some really strong packaging tape. And I also have this 30 DEET Ben's Will Do This Morning bug spray. This is the current survival knife that I have been doing a lot of testing and stuff with. This is the Colonel from this company called Campcraft Outdoors. He's a head instructor over at Wilderness Outfitters with Dave Canterbury. I have my Fire Steel Elite from 4 Directions Bushcraft with a paratender tabs. I like this knife because it's 6 1/4 inches long. It's made of one of my favorite carbon steels, which is 5160, but it's only 1/8 of an inch thick. But this knife can do some freaking work. You're gonna see a full review on this. It's really lightweight, but it is tough as nails. It's really super sharp. It works really well. You'll see some awesome footage soon. Now, moving to the underneath of this floating compartment is another zipper. Now, my other big gripe about this pack is they don't use YKK zippers, which are basically some of the best zippers you can have. And I really wish, for this being a $250 pack, that they would exchange out all the zippers for YKK zippers. That's a gripe that I kind of don't like. I have an inlet towel, so I have access to that if I need to dry off outside of my toiletry stuff, but it won't get wet right away, which is why it's the underneath 2 layers. We have an emergency blanket, And I have one food ration so I can get to it really quickly. This is a day's worth of rations. Next we move on to this top pouch right here, which has a lot of really good gear in it. You'll see things in here you wouldn't normally see, like an everyday carrierist or a smaller survival kit. So I've got a hat. This is the Mission Cool fisherman's hat, a good neck, face, and head coverage. Next I have a knife field sharpener so I can keep my tools ready to go in the field. Now this is a cool little kit. This is actually a nail kit. And I'll go ahead and take this out for you. This is secured by a Ranger band and an Altoids 10. I actually got this idea from Canadian Prepper. That guy has a lot of really good ideas. And sometimes we feed off each other as YouTubers, and I want to give him credit for coming up with this idea. There's some denim so I can make some char cloth later on if I need to. But I have a bunch of freaking nails in here. I have a bunch of these longer nails right here, and I have these smaller ones. So if I have to do any more permanent shelter building, I have 40 to 50 nails that don't weigh a lot at all that I can keep on my kit because it's much stronger and much simpler than tying a knot. Next, I have two of these lights. Wrong one. There we go. These come from a company called Outdoor Extreme Energy. These are their tube lights. These are 2500 mAh power, but on the low setting, which is just this setting right here, you can put this in your tent around your campsite, and this one charge will last 60 hours. For self-defense situations, I have the WowTac A1S. This is the Black Scout Survival Edition. I also have the crenulated bezel on there, the strike bezel, but it has a lot of really bright light. You guys know the merits of the A1S. You saw me brutalize the all black version like a freaking champ, and that flashlight just looked at me and laughed. This thing is amazing. In addition to that, I have three 18650s. Due to the fact that I'd be using a solar panel to recharge my batteries, I want to make sure I have up to 4 batteries to use and cycle through so I'm not draining too many of them too quickly. Down here we have this bottom zipper that actually goes through, and this actually dives into the main compartment, but they keep it compartmentalized because up top there is a drawstring that pulls down and cinches everything down, so everything in the bottom is actually still separated, so you can put your heavier items on the bottom without letting it get in the way of the rest of the pack. So this is my sleeping hammock. This is from Rupax. I actually have the camo version. This is my wife's. This is the baby blue one. But it has the 2 straps right here, the carabiners, everything you need to set up the hammock right in this 1 pound package, which is freaking awesome. Next, I have this survival medical on the move kit. I like survival medical kits and trauma kits and bleeder kits and all that stuff because they're designed for long-term storage. If I don't use this particular bug out bag for months or years, this medical supplies will still be good, and it's the same grade of stuff you find in the hospitals. We have my EDC organizer survival kit. This is a 206 piece survival kit, and I went ahead and stuck it in here because let's say I'm at my campsite. One, this is a comprehensive grab and go kit that is good to go on its freaking own, but it gives me some supplemental items for items I have other in my pack. However, if I have to flee my campsite, as long as I can grab this, stick it on my belt with my survival knife and go, I come back to my camp and marauders have taken my campsite over, or animals have attacked my food supplies and I don't have anything else, I still have a usable kit that's very mobile that I can keep with me at all times, no matter what. This is a VanQuest trauma pack. I actually got this from a company called Second Chance IFAC. This is a full-on trauma kit. We have the cat's tourniquet. It's got the quick release zippers right here, so you can access all the gloves, the compartments, the tourniquets, the gauzes, the Israeli bandages, everything you need really quickly. So this is a good alternative that you can stick in replacement of this. This actually comes with the pack. This is a 14 watt, I believe, solar panel. It's really cool. It has these straps on it that can connect to the pack itself. They have these little D-rings right here that you can connect to it. It's rain cover. So if you find yourself in inclement weather and an emergency and you need to protect your pack, you can take this thing over and cover your gear very effectively. Now, like it does on the bottom of the pack to separate by compartments, they have this pull string right here. But what I like about that is I don't want all my stuff just coming out on the merits of a pull string. So they thought about that ahead of time, which is actually kind of nice, is they have this buckle system so it'll keep everything cinched down if you don't want it to move anywhere. Then they have the drawstring where everything can be easily accessed very, very quickly. And I'm gonna dump all these compartments out and just go over what I've got in the pack. So first we have my fishing and trapping kit. This is a very comprehensive kit. Kind of open it up for you so you can kind of see a little bit of what's inside. But I have some snare wire, night line, fishing line, some small fillet knives, some grub bodies, some bait, some fishing line, all to coincide with my Kombuya hand fishing line. This gives me an ability to cast and have a hand line for fishing. I got this from Merkwares, same exact company that does the Emberlit stoves and all that stuff. I have my 200 piece fire kit. You guys saw this in a previous video. If you guys want to see this, just check out my 200 piece fire kit video that I have in my feed. Next, if you run into inclement weather, I have this hex tarp by UST. It has 4 aluminum pegs in here. I'm not going to take this out because it gets really, really big. So let's say my hammock does get damaged. I want to have an ability to have a secondary shelter. So I wanted to make sure that I had a really nice lightweight tarp, and that's nice and compact. It does open up pretty big, but I can use it as a tarp shelter. However, I can still use it as a rain fly for my hammock. Next, I have this shamog, so I can have additional head covering. I can use it as a pillow, a towel. We all love shamogs. We know shamogs. Next up, if I need something to read, or I want another bandana for filtering out any particulates in the water. If I have some shady water, I need to make it visually clear before I do any type of boiling or filtering anything. I have this UST bandana. I have this 100-foot hank of UST para tinder. This is just like the 550 fire cord, but a hell of a lot cheaper, and it works really, really well. I've used this in a lot of different fire starting videos, and this cordage works great because you still get the 550 paracord strength, but you get that huge hank of tinder. Having a good pair of gloves are essential. For my area, having these ironclad Exotech gloves make a lot of sense. They have this nice rubber overmold, so I can prevent some injuries. However, they have some really nice padding, and they're nice and lightweight. Well, I can't recommend having a good pair of gloves enough. Next, I have a freezer bag full of some spare underwear, some spare boxers, and some wool socks. And I have these spare socks and underwear due to the fact that if I'm in a bug out situation, a lot of people say, make sure you have a change of clothes and this and that. I'm like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do that right away. So maybe you could add 2 or 3 pair of underwear, 2 or 3 pair of socks, and maybe a shirt or t-shirt or 2 to replace, like an undershirt. But for me, living in a southern environment, it doesn't get that cold. I can pretty much wear shorts all year round. So having some good wool socks and a few pair of underwear to kind of swap out and wash, and any water sources that I have is just smart to have. Next, I have my other 2 days worth of rations. So in my pack, I have 72 hours of emergency rations to make sure that I'm good to go. I'm not gonna actually carry any more than that due to the fact that you can survive off the rule of threes. You can survive 3 weeks without food. Next, I have my Wilderness Outfitters water pack, and this pack is freaking awesome. This coincides with the video I did with my canteen survival kit. But in here, in the front zipper, I have 2 water filters. These are good for 200 gallons. That will also coincide with the water filter I've got in that water bottle you saw earlier. We have some spare filters that are in this kit. And finally, because I do live in a major city, I have a 4-way silkcock key so I can access any water valves to fill up my water bottles on the fly. So inside the main compartment, I have my 40-ounce clean canteen. It's a single wall stainless steel. However, inside this pack right here, and I like this bottle because I can actually use this to kind of boil water underneath or keep this hanging on a pot with not a lot of problems. But I have 6 4-ounce emergency packets of drinking water, so that gives me 24 ounces, which is a little over a single bottle of water already on me when I first get started. Next, I have the GSI canteen cup. This is good for a stove. You can boil water with it, eat porridge, soups, whatever, any food you make, you can eat right out of this thing. But I like it because it has a longer handle, so you won't have to worry about burning yourself by picking it off of a stove or a fire. And then I have this canteen stove that all this kind of stuff packed neatly together. As you can see, I've used it several times when I've gone out camping, so I know this stuff will work for me in a pinch. And when it's all nested together, we have the stove, the cup, and the canteen bottle. Now, in addition to my Sawyer water bottle and my clean canteen bottle, I wanted to make sure I had a really good bottle with me, so I have something that I can keep in my pocket. This is the Hydra Pack Seeker. This is a collapsible 2-liter bottle of water. So if I'm out and about and I happen to stumble across a good water source of water, I can fill up, even if it's not filtered, up to 2 liters of water with me, and I can keep this in my pack in case I run into anything while I'm foraging. So in addition to shelter and just additional layers for clothing in an emergency, this is actually the Uncharted Supply Hideaway Waterproof Jacket. This jacket's pretty freaking awesome because you get a full hoodie. It is completely waterproof, so if you have to use this as a waterproof poncho, if you run into inclement weather while you're out foraging or you're mid-bug out and you don't have time to set up a shelter or there's no trees nearby, you're still in an urban area, you can use this to kind of keep yourself and your clothes and your pack and your body dry and warm. This has a bunch of different pockets in the back, in the front, in the pockets in the sides and the sleeves to stuff newspapers if you need to, leaves, foliage, anything like that, and actually create an insulation layer. The next two items come from a company called Easy Cut. However, there are dozens of alternatives, and like everything else, I will have alternatives and substitutes down in the video description. So this is something that I have been made fun of. These are ratcheting clippers. These are pruners. Yes, these are pruners. I actually keep this in my bug out bag. I have been able to cut branches up to 2.5 to 3 inches in diameter with this thing, even though it doesn't get any wider than that, because of the way this works. The way this convex blade works is I can actually slice in here and wrap it around the tree branch and kind of slice and cut around it until it bleeds all the way through, and I get a really clean cut. But this doesn't take any work at all. This allows me to reach weird places that I can't with a folding saw, an axe, or anything like that. And I can have clean cuts of wood, so if I need exact lengths for a shelter, I've got it. Next I have the WAZOO saw. It's a folding saw like any other one. I mean, you can easily translate this out for the Baco, a Corona, a silky saw, anything like that. They're all pretty much made the same way. This is 10 inches. And it actually cuts on the draw cut, but this particular one does cut really freaking well. All the different tools I have for my bug out bag, which is basically a bladed shovel, which can be used as a small light duty hatchet. It can be used as brush clearing if I need to because of the length of the handle, but also can be used as a shovel. Having a good folding saw, my ratcheting pruning clippers, and a really good 6 inch survival knife. I have all of my bases covered. Now you can choose to bring big machetes or an axe or different tools, and that's all your preference, but these are the tools that I am choosing to experiment with. I have tested and tried all of these and they work exceptionally well. All in all, this is my bug out bag. Now this is the current configuration. Yes, things will change and evolve through constructive comments you guys choose to leave down in the comment section, and with brand new gear and things coming out, and as I try things evolve, I find things work better than others, or maybe consolidating some items. I do understand everyone's budget, the things they choose, the things they like, the reasons why they like them will differ. If you want any more in-depth analysis or reviews on any of this stuff, I do have most of this stuff down in my video feed. I would be a very bad gear reviewer if I didn't give you guys another couple options for a bug out bag. Now I understand this pack is really cool because it has solar panels and built-in battery packs. It's got a lot of compartments and it's really advanced ultralight technology. However, the reality is it's a $250 pack. Now for those of you who see this pack as a really good investment, I will drop the Kickstarter link into it, but I will show more budget-friendly options. So the first pack up is considerably cheaper. This is like a $70-$80 pack. This is the Paratus by 3V Gear. And what I love about this is it has one main large bag compartment, but you have this separate pack that you have. This is completely detachable. You could use this as a survival kit roll, a foraging pack, anything like that. But it has these two MOLLE strap pouches so you can keep gear more organized in multiple compartments. Not to mention, for those of you who love MOLLE strapping and MOLLE gear and MOLLE webbing, this has a lot more of it because that other pack didn't have any, but the solution that I gave were those pack patches. This is the 5-star gear bug out bag that I got from Stanford Outdoor Supply. You still all have your loops and your straps for sleeping bags. You still have some MOLLE webbing. You still have things for morale patches, bunch of different zippers and buckles. It is a really high quality bag that is only like 40 to 50 bucks. So if you really want to go cheap, but you want something that I would recommend, this is probably about the cheapest I would go. But that just about does it for my bug out bag and the kit items that I decided to put in here. And if you like the overview and the concept of my pack, definitely give this video a big thumbs up and share this out with your friends and family in your social media networks. And don't forget to comment down in the comment section so I can know your thoughts, your opinions, and your constructive criticism about things you would change around in this pack. But that just about does it for now. Hope you guys have an absolute wonderful day. I'm out.